Hello my fellow gardening gals and guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden in a zone 4B. So it's the beginning of August, my Millennium Alliums just started to bloom, so I'm going to take you on a garden tour. I'm going to do this in two parts, so we'll start up front and then the second part will be in back. So if you like garden tours, please give me a thumbs up so I know, and consider subscribing to my channel. It would really help me out. So I hope you guys like it. Take care. Okay guys, I just wanted to share this little garden saying that I came across I thought was so cute before I start my tour. So if you want to pause that and read it, you can. But yeah, I just thought that was so cute. So anyways, here is my front bed. Now, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of show you guys pictures of what this bed looked like before. We removed a ton of buckthorn. So there is a bunch of buckthorn that we took out ourselves. We didn't have a company do that. And it just started with that little bed right there, just two crab apples. The crab apples are gorgeous in the spring. I'll show you a little picture coming up here. But yeah, the bed is lined in the front with Silver Mound Artemisia, and there's Millennium Allium just behind that. Now this side of the bed right over here, I just added this year. So these are all first year plants on the far left. But there's the crab apples there. Yeah, I've just been really happy with those trees. They're just so pretty. And this little spot, I'll kind of go through each plant here. I won't spend too much time on the ones that aren't blooming. There's these are prairie fire crab apples, so those are what the blooms look like in the spring. So I highly recommend those. All right, so back to these plants here. So in the front here, we have some potentilla. Right here, that's a creme brulee potentilla. There's one on the right too. These had a little bit of transplant shock because they were root bound as well. But yeah, they are shaping up nice for the first year. I think they'll be covered next year. And potentillas bloom the whole season. They're shrubs, so this one will have little pink blooms on it. So hopefully that'll bloom next year. It was just really tough. And I did a little drift here of phlox. This is the baby doll phlox. So it kind of goes in and out of bloom. They're just small since it's first year, but I got 3 different colors and yeah, 6 different plants here. That was just a little powwow coneflower that a rabbit got to behind that as well. Couple more phlox. This is a mock orange, so this will get 6 by 6. And in the spring, it has really pretty white flowers that are very fragrant. This is just first year, like I said, but here's a blue star juniper. It's kind of lower, it just gets a couple feet across and about a foot tall. But I thought that would be cool to kind of grow in there. That blue matches the other blue of the upright junipers I have lining the back of this bed. As you could see there, there's 5. Those are Wichita blue junipers in the back there. Their blue color is amazing. And let me tell you, in the winter, you know, when it's all just the snow's on the ground, those evergreens just pop. They're so gorgeous. And I love this plant too. This is a shrub. It is a Sutherland gold elderberry. It's on its 3rd year, so you know, it still needs to grow in a bit. It's kind of a dry bed up here as well, so I'm going to try to give it an extra water this year and see if it'll grow for me a little more here. But it should get big. Some more coneflowers. Those are the old-fashioned Magnus, Echinacea purpura. Gorgeous. Look at those seed heads. They're just full of pollen. They really attract the pollinators too. There's bumblebees on this all the time. The ones in the back there are kind of on their way out since it's just beginning to mid-August. So this is a sedum. Or actually, let me show you this first. This is a butterfly bush. I just planted this. So it did have some die-off with the blooms, so I have to cut some of those off. But hopefully, this will get a couple feet tall and wide. So that's a magenta. Okay, so anyways, here is the Sedum matrona. So This will have pink blooms, and look at those stems. They're so cool looking. They're like a purple. So if you're sick of the everyday autumn joy sedum, I highly recommend Sedum matrona. And there in the center there, we have a golden spirit smoke bush. Now this gets super gold in spring. So it's kind of lime colored right now, but it will get about 5 or 6 feet tall, 5 or 6 feet wide. You can see it's a bit gold right there. I love the leaf structure. It's just so cool. And I did plant 2 tiny little clearance plants, which is big blue stem blackhawks. So we'll see how those come in. I'll give you an update. So this is just ground cover sedum. I got one of those packs at Home Depot that had a variety in like one pack, and I just kind of split it apart and just let it grow. So there's a few different types of sedum in here. I've been really happy with it. So it's on its 3rd season. As you can see, the majority of it's green. Some of it has already flowered. There's a little patch right there, blue spruce sedum. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Look at the leaf, or the leaf structure, really. Sedums are just amazing to me. I love them. There's the blue spruce. And yeah, and you could just take a little piece of this and put it somewhere else and it'll grow. So good investment there, and it really controlled the weeds, and it loves dry and hot. All right, so as you could see, my Millennium Allium, now you guys, these are just starting to bloom, so they're not in their full glory yet. As soon as they are, I will do like a What's Blooming Wednesday so you could see, but they are amazing. The color will get a lot more vibrant. And they're just such easy plants. I highly recommend them. Also, these silver mounds, I mean, drought tolerant. Pests just don't bother them. And here's a summer drummer allium. Now this is already bloomed and it's already spent, but I just like how that looks even with the spent bloom on it. So I'm just going to keep those up. So I have like 4 of those that bloomed up here. We had a kind of a tough spring, so I planted like 25 or so and only 4 bloomed. So fingers crossed for next year. I think we'll have some better luck. Let's just make our way down here. 2 more of those summer drummer alliums. Those are the tallest alliums, and they're the latest blooming summer bulb alliums. So they were like a light purple. And we'll make our way over this way. Here we repeated the pattern of another 5 Millennium Allium and more Silver Mound Artemisia. I just thought that those silver mounds would look like little clouds, and like the Millennium Allium would just come up out of the back of them. That was my vision, at least. All right, so we got another phlox here. This is just a little guy. Phlox are such long bloomers. I highly recommend those. Those are some asters there that the rabbits got to. On the left, in the middle there, that's Catmint Nepeta. That's Walker Jr., so it's more of a compact version. And I just sheared this back, so I'm waiting for a rebloom, hopefully. Yeah, there's another aster there, and literally while I'm recording this voiceover, the rabbits already got to this one too. So I don't really recommend asters if you have a lot of rabbits. It's really hard to keep those sprayed with the liquid fence. All right, and here we have a false indigo baptisia. So this will have blue flowers. This is just 2nd year, so this is very small when I planted it, but this is actually a legume. It's in the pea family, so really cool leaves there. It kind of looks like a pea plant. And this is my favorite ajuga. It is Burgundy Glow, and it just looks good the whole season. I mean, it blooms in the spring with some purple flowers, but yeah, I just love it. This is a Liatris that the bunnies got to, but it was done blooming. They would just really just ate the leaves. And I got a couple hostas around the back of this tree. That one right there in the center is guacamole. Now, you guys, I do have a whole Hosta video I just put out. I will put a card up above here, and I'll also link it in the description. So if you want a closer look at all the Hostas, I pointed out some of my favorites, and I'll go over all the names. You can click on that. This is a forbidden fruit. Those are really cool because the leaf
some of the leaves stand straight up. So you can really see it from afar since it's gold in the center. So that's a really cool hosta there. And that is gold ajuga. It looks lime green right now, but in the spring it gets a gold yellow with little purple flowers. Highly recommend that. This is a pilgrim hosta. I just got this at Menards. These were $3. You can't go wrong. I'm a bargain shopper, so another forbidden fruit. That was $3 as well. I just was at the right place at the right time at Menards. So here's the other side of my driveway. This is a Japanese lilac tree. This is on its 4th season. This is what the buds look like after they're spent, after they bloom. This is what it looks like. Highly recommend this tree. I got it for like $45 with the city actually was having a tree sale for Arbor Day. And this is my hanging basket I've had all year, $20 at Menards. I love it. You have to cut it back here or there when it just kind of deadhead. And I fertilize it once a week, but it is going strong. Not sure what kind of flowers those are though. This is a tough bed for me. This is 3 maples, so it's very dry because maples have really shallow roots. In the center there is a thunderhead sedum. Now, this is just another alternative. It gets a little bit smaller than the autumn joy sedum, but it has purple flowers and a purple stem. A little bit different than the sedum matrona. The sedum matrona had light pink flowers, but these aren't open yet, but they will soon. I'll have to do a What's Blooming Wednesday on that one too. Very cool though. I just love, so it's just something different. I have some autumn joy, and we just got some columbine there that's already spent. And we have some other random sedums. That's a Rockin' Low Boogie Woogie Proven Winners sedum. So I kind of just bought like 3 plants. I cut them up into 4s and I kind of just put them all over. I just want them to grow, but they don't get a ton of sun here, but they do get that hot afternoon sun. This is a fragrant bouquet hosta. You can see the leaves there. They're like lined with white and they're blooming right now. Gorgeous flowers. I love that one. Kind of a slow goer right there, but also, again, because it's dry, because those maples. Let's go back to the other side of the driveway here. Let me show you a few of my shade plants. So there's creeping Jenny ground cover in the middle there. I might end up moving that or tearing some out. It's just kind of a placeholder, really. There's some foxglove in the back that never really bloomed much. These are Roseanne geraniums. They'll kind of creep. They're on their first year, so, they're just tiny right now. But I got 2 of them. They're very long bloomers, like all spring, all summer. There's another one right there. Little scraggly right now, but like I said, first year they sleep, second year they creep, third year they leap. So I just got to be patient. But this is one of my favorite plants I bought this year. This is Jacob's Ladder, and it's a special variegated one. Now, in the spring, this will have bluish purple flowers come out of the top of it. But look at the variegation on these leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, it really brightens up a shaded area. So through here, there's some spent astilbe. I won't really spend much time on that. Here's one of my favorite hostas. That's a June hosta. If you could see the leaves, like they're just lined with this blue-green. That's really gorgeous. And that's a blue Hawaii. Highly recommend that. Powdery blue. So gorgeous. And that is a Sun King Aralia. Now those can get 4x4. That's a perennial that dies to the ground, but really pops in the shade. Highly recommend that for shade. And rabbits, deer, they don't bother it. Few more hosta here. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about every single hosta. You could watch the hosta tour for that, but I'll show some of my favorites. This is a Fire Island. That one's got the red stems. That one's a Halcyon. More Astilbe that already bloomed. Astilbes just don't bloom long. And that is a Japanese painted fern. I have 3 of those. They look great next to the hostas. Good companion plant. Just behind it is a Glory Sunshine, they get huge. And this, I think, is one of my favorite hostas, top 5 at least. This is the Proven Winners Shadowland Series Autumn Frost. So when this gets large, the borders on each leaf will get a lot more pronounced. So it's going to be gorgeous. Another Sun King. And there's a Halcyon next to it. Love my Sun Kings. I have quite a few. They just pop from a mile away. So when you're looking out your window and you see that, it's just like, oh, you want more. Some Japanese forest grass, but the bunnies got to that. They're supposed to be rabbit resistant, you guys. They're not. Another forbidden fruit, as you can see, that upright leaf. And I had some elephant ears back here. They don't get enough sun, so they're not huge. But, I just wanted to try them out. I probably won't do it again. We just have such a short season here in Zone 4B, but they're cool. And that's the all gold Japanese forest grass. It's just a little guy because I got these very small. So another elephant ear. And that's a Dream Queen Hosta there. One of my faves. It's got like a paintbrush stripe down it. A few more Hosta. I mean, I got some forbidden fruit in here. Some Francis Williams. I got, what else? So Sweet. More Pilgrim Hosta. And more Halcyon. This is a staghorn cutleaf sumac. These spread, but that's what we want. We want it to just spread in this area here. So really cool leaf structure on that. So I have 2 of those. This is one of my top 5 hostas. New this year, so still small, but that is Rainforest Sunrise. And I just love the name. Very gold. Got that at Menards too for $8. Forbidden fruit behind it. And another Halcyon. Think of Francis Williams. There's another staghorn cutleaf sumac. It's different than the glossy ones. This can get kind of tall too. And I got some more Japanese forest grass through here. Bunnies got to that as well, but I really hope it works out. I just love Japanese forest grass, you guys. This is the variegated one, as you could see. Slow grower. And this is some sweet woodruff. This little vine here. I have a couple here. Slow growers, non-invasive, but they like the shade. And they get little flowers on them in the spring. So here is my hedge. This is only 2.5 years old. I have 5 Diablo 9 barks I planted here. They were small when I first planted them, and look how fast they are growing. So if you need a fast growing hedge, I highly recommend the Diablo 9 barks. They'll get big though. They'll get up to like 8 to 10 feet tall and wide. But look at that. Next to that arbor there. We just need some privacy, and the neighbors do too. I'll do my side yard in my part 2, but sure. So here are my proven winners, little lime hydrangeas. Aren't they gorgeous? And they're just so like easy. These plants will the blooms start as like a lime green to white, then it'll go to like a dusty rose and then kind of brownish. But even the dusty rose and the brownish looks cool. I'll cut these off and I'll put it in like a fall container in like November. But I love this plant, and they're more compact. They're fine right there against the foundation. They won't really get much bigger than that. We got a boxwood, just a common boxwood. And one of my top 5s, Blue Angel. It's about 6 feet across. It already bloomed, so I cut off the stems. And let me give you an update on this. This is my red bud. Now, this is just 3 years old. It was small. I got it bare rooted, and it had some chlorosis the first year because I have sandy soil. But I gave it those the like spikes that are fertilizer, 2 of those in there, and it's doing great. Highly recommend those fertilizer spikes for trees. Let's go to my retaining wall here. So this is a spirea. Not sure what kind, but it does get like a really pretty gold in the spring, and it'll flower a bit. Spireas are drought resistant, like nothing bothers them, very easy. This is a hosta that I just had to dig up because it was just like stunted. And I saw that like the old homeowners had like black plastic that was like strangling it. So I mended the soil, so hopefully that'll do good. We have some new plants here, so they're just little guys. Those are geraniums. And silver mound, dianthus. Silver mound gets a little crazy this time of year. It's not those like perfect puffs that you see in spring. Some green hosta. That other hosta should be this big. Here's some purple Pallas heuchera, aka coral bells. This is just a nice, easy plant. It's pretty. You know, I like it in my retaining wall here, and it's good for the partial sun. So I recommend that for a shade plant if you like heuchera. We got 2 Biokovo geraniums next to it. Now, these flower white in spring, so they're really pretty in spring. And then they just kind of, it's just the foliage the rest of the year. And in fall, it'll kind of like tinge there with a little bit red to the foliage. So it's kind of pretty. More hosta, more fire witch dianthus, which has already bloomed. More hosta, fire witch dianthus, and that little guy at the end is a little spark spirea. Its first year, it was struggled when I first put it in. It was a little root bound, but it's making a comeback and it's gonna be okay, looks like. And here's my front porch this year. So the container has elephant ears in it, which I probably wouldn't do again, but everything else I'm really happy with. So let me kind of take you through. This is Proven Winners Lemon Coral Sedum. These are annuals, but as you can see, it really pops. There's just smaller delphiniums that are already done blooming next to it. Happy with that. Whenever you want to brighten up an area, add gold. This is Persian Shield. This is a really cool plant. I just put it in there because I got it on sale for like $1. Yeah, so it's nice. I think it's nice in front of my little bird bath. I got more delphiniums on each side, but they're done blooming. But they put on a show this year. There's a water wiggler inside that bird bath to keep the water from going stagnant. It's battery operated. Here's some calla lilies that never bloomed. Now I brought these bulbs in the winter and I replanted them in the spring, and I had higher hopes for them, but they never bloomed, so I probably won't do that again. Also, the petunias in this container I had to cut back, so they're nothing special, but look at this coleus. It's new, so I wanted to fill in, but it's gorgeous, as coleus always is. Got some creeping Jenny in the pot there. And some coleus filling in. We have chocolate covered cherry, we have wizard, and the biggest one there is watermelon coleus. And there's some begonias in there. I just put flowering. And like I said, the elephant ears got pretty tattered from the wind, so I probably won't use that as a thriller next year in my container. But I tried it, and I love that creeping Jenny. There's some more wizard coleus. That one has a really cool pattern there. Got that on sale for like $1. And yep, last but not least, guys, here's my Calibrachoa pot. I got this, it was distressed. I got it for $7 on the clearance rack. So I hope you like that. Happy gardening and take care, you guys.